Well, let's look at two practice questions on saving and investment. So let's look at the first question. For a closed economy, we have GDP equal to 12 trillion. Consumption is 7 trillion. Taxes are 3 trillion, right? And then we also have the government runs the budget deficit equal to 1 trillion. So this question helps us to compute the private saving and the national saving. I just summarized some useful information from this question first. So we can notice I write it down. Why? This is the GDP equal to 12 trillion, consumption 7 trillion, tax equal to 3 trillion. And because of government runs a budget deficit, which says now the T minus G will equal to -1. And based on this, we can easily to get the government purchase or government spending now equal to tax plus 1. So 3 trillion plus 1 trillion, we can get the government spending now equal to $4 trillion. And the first one, how to compute the private saving. So the private saving, based on what we have learned, private saving is the proportion that the income subtract the tax, because everyone have the income, they need to pay income tax, right? And then subtract consumption. So we can just use 12 trillion, subtract $3 trillion, and then subtract consumption, $7 trillion. And this will give us, finally, okay, it will give us the private saving equal to, this is 9 trillion, subtract 7 trillion, and then we can easily get the private saving or equal to $2 trillion, right? And then it also asks the national saving. So for national saving, in a closed economy, national saving will equal to what? In a closed economy, national saving will equal to investment. And the investment will just equal to Y subtract consumption, subtract the government purchase. So based on what we have, we will use $12 trillion as GDP, subtract $7 trillion from consumption, and the government purchase we just calculate equal to $4 trillion, and then that will give us the national saving equal to $1 trillion. So based on this, I think it's easy for us to compute the private saving and the national saving. Now let's look at the second practice question. Suppose in a closed economy, we have GDP equal to 11,000, and then consumption equal to $7,500 and taxes are $500. It will ask at what value of government purchases that will make the national savings equal to $2,000, and it also want to ask at this government purchases value if the government will run the budget deficit or budget surplus. Okay, so how can we solve for this question? Similarly, I will just first write down some useful information given by this question. Okay, so I will write it down. Y will equal to Y will equal to GDP equal to $11,000, right? And then we have consumption equal to $75,000 and tax equal to $500. We also know now the national saving S will equal to $2,000. So based on this, first, I might need to think about it. How can we get the national saving? So the national saving, according to what we have learned before, national saving should equal to, this is the GDP, right? Minus consumption minus government purchase. Okay, so we already know this is no, right? This is the this is the GDP, and then this is the consumption. What we need to figure out is government purchase. Okay, so I will just write it down. $2,000 will equal to $11,000. Subtract 7,500 and subtract government spending. So based on this, can you get the government spending? I think it's not difficult for you to get a government spending. So here we can get the government spending will actually equal to $11,000, subtract $7,500, subtract $2,000. Therefore, we will have the government purchase equal to $1,500. And then for the second question, it won't ask if the government have a deficit or surplus. So how can we make a judgment why the government will have budget deficit or budget surplus? We notice tax minus government purchase, okay, will equal to 500. This is the tax. And then the government purchase we just calculate equal to 1,500, which will give us negative $1,000. So when we have the public saving equal to the negative $1,000, which means now the government have budget deficit. Therefore, option A here is correct, right? So this here, the public saving negative means the government have budget deficit. Okay, so these are the two questions about saving and investment. Hope you can understand how to solve for this type of questions.